pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, moving along here, approve the minutes of the meeting of January 7th. You've all got a copy of them.
I have one question.
Okay.
And it kind of goes along with it. They attached, of course, the zoning, the ordinance that we amended, the zoning ordinance, 308.
Okay.
Are the people on the board, specifically me and other folks, going to get insert pages so we can update our zoning books?
I can see that you get them.
You know, I've got a zoning book which is now sort of out of date.
Okay.
And I'd like to have,
All right.
a couple of times before they used to give us zoning pages so we could switch them out. So I have a book that was up to date.
I think if you bring your book in, they'll change it.
And yeah, if they bring it in, they'll change it for me, but I'm willing to do it if I've got the pages.
With this change, it was pretty extensive. I think you're probably better off just getting a new copy. There were quite a few changes, not in terms of the content, but the way it was structured.
So are we going to have new books?
Eventually, I think I would make that recommendation that everyone receive.
Well, would you bring that from the planning commission to the board, and then, in the meantime, Ralph, we can get you a copy of them.
Well, like I can say, I have my copy, and after having used it for several years, it's extensively annotated. And I like to be able just to make the changes to that without having to recopy all the annotations.
Okay, we can do that.
Anyway, that's the only thing.
I thought I saw on the, when we get to it, it says that you can get copies, I think it was $25. Yeah, on the very back, it says you can go to community planning and management, and you get $25 a copy. I don't know if that's for the whole book.
That might be for like contractors,
Okay.
you know, but I think we can get a copy for our board members without. We'll check on that.
If there are no further questions, I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes as provided.
I'll support.
Okay, it's been moved and supported that we accept the minute as presented with the question that Ralph had. Any other further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Public comment. Is there anybody that would like to speak on anything that's not on the agenda? Okay, seeing none. Moving on to consent agenda. C1, December 6, 2012 Beautification Committee minutes. C2, January 2nd, 2013 Historical Commission minutes. C3, December 2012 Marine City and St. Clair Fire reports. C4, December 2012 Building Report. C5, 2012 Building, I think that's the year-end report.
Yep.
C6, January 9th, 2013 Park Commission minutes. And C7, December 2012 Investment Income Report.
I have one question. Going back to the St. Clair Fire Authority report. On the back side of the first sheet, on the front we have all the cities and stuff. On the back of that sheet, there's the fire report. The incident was on 12/4/2012. They just have the wrong township again. The address is 561 Clover Lawn, and it should be, they have China, should be East China.
South Hospital Drive. Up at the top down, it's from the Hospital Drive.
Which one?
Up towards the top, it says South Hospital Drive was where the call was evidently.
Yeah, but John's right. K1 is just,
That's
there's
the
just a
name of the
mistake in
woman lived on
K1.
Clover Lawn.
They lived on Clover Lawn, but they,
Yeah, it's right up at the top in the B section. And she lived in Clover Lawn.
must be out of order.
Yeah, but she has China.
Mine are out of order.
Oh, okay, I see what you're talking about.
Oh,
Oh, I was gonna say, it's down here.
yeah, okay. Oh, this is the St. Clair one.
St. Clair, right?
Yeah, the incident happened at the hospital, involved this lady.
And I don't know why it's.
Well,
on
then St. Clair would be
Be the
hospital
hospital,
would be the
yes,
St. Clair because they're
yes.
north of the Edison.
Right.
They go to the
They're
hospital.
saying, but they're saying Clover, well. Here. Okay, I'm sorry, you're right.
Okay.
Well, you're still right, Don. Cloverland should have been East China.
Should have been
not
East China, yeah,
Yeah.
but, yeah, okay.
All right, no other questions? Motion would be in order.
I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
It's been moved and supported that we accept the consent agenda as presented. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Moving on to disbursements, we have bills of $98,605.68. We have payroll of $25,315.18. We have ACH payments of $44,940.63. We have a tax account of $182,691.59 for a total disbursement of $351,553.08.
I'll make a motion, we pay the bills in the amount of $351,553.08.
I'll support.
Okay, it's been moved and supported that we pay the bills. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Simons?
Yes.
Mr. Boda?
Yes.
Mr. Patsalis?
Yes.
Mr. Horn?
Yes.
Mr. Knotts?
Yes.
Mr. Blackstock?
Yes.
Cram, yes.
Motion carries. All right, next is the members' report, and I'd like to, out in new business, and we'll go on with the members' reports. Planning Commission, Herb? Yeah.
Yes, I think everyone in their packet, later in our, it's coming up later in our new business, but, we did approve, to have our planners, proceed with the update to our master plan. And we'll cover that later again. It's $6,500. It's going to be a minor change or update. We didn't feel that, from our last plan, that things have changed very much, in terms of future plans or current zoning or anything of that nature. So the plan is just going to be a very short update to our existing plan. We're going to touch on things like the updated demographics. We're going to clean up some, similar to what we did with the zoning ordinance, clean up some older verbiage, some things that are a little outdated. But for the most part, I think the plan will stay very close to what we currently have.
Okay. That it, Herb?
That is it.
Thank you. Moving on to the Park Commission, Mr. Boda.
All right, to the East China Park Commission meeting on January the 9th. During their discussions, they spoke about the 5-year plans, and they were talking about giving copies of the new plan need to be distributed to the new members that are now sitting on the commission. There was a motion to have a workshop discussion on the summer recreation program. The meeting was scheduled for January 16th at 2013 at the Township Hall, 7 o'clock. That meeting was held at that time. Under other items, the County Parks and Recreation will supply funds for the canoe launch in the park. That's a total of $28,000, and that'll be coming from the Parks, County Parks and Recreation. So that's a nice amount of money. The DPW, the County Parks and Recreation, what they asked was that the DPW should be involved in the installation, so they are familiar with and comfortable with putting in and taking out the dock or ramp it'll be put in. They stated that a survey, the commission stated a survey will be needed to proceed. I know we talked about not doing that until
We said we'd do it when it was
we
needed.
did the road, but that was something they brought up. They say that there's a lot of trees that need a removal and removal needed, and we will work with the DPW to make the park safe and stay within the budget. I guess there's a lot of dead trees still in the area yet. They want to get those down and out of there. So we don't have any problems. They also held a discussion about the park manager. Winter unemployment was held. The motion to keep the park manager on unemployment until mid-March was made by Fry, supported by Franklin, carried. That concludes from the Parks and Recreation, they also stay at the launch site needs to be handicap accessible. And I guess right now they've got 4 of these launches up. They have one at the Boat Harbor in St. Clair, one in Fort Gratiot, one in Columbus Township, and I'm not sure where that 4th one is, but those 3 are
I
already
believe it's
in.
in Marysville.
So that concludes the report on the Park Commission. Any questions, comments?
Yeah, that's the whole object of that boat launch, is it to be ADA?
Right.
You know, are you talking about getting to the ramp, or are you talking?
Well, they're talking about getting to and out and back from the ramp there, the handicap accessible from the parking lot. It sounds like from the parking lot.
Yeah, that's what I mean, because we had to do that at the St. Clair Boulevard plant. We had to put a paved sidewalk in, we had to put cement underneath the picnic table, and
Oh, is that right?
So I
Yeah.
imagine
I guess
those
they
are
were
the things-
talking about at least a sidewalk from the parking lot to the launch site, so.
there's another thing in there, you're talking about the trees in the park. What our DPW has been doing is taking care of the dangerous trees. There are so many trees over there, if you walk through there, I mean, it's endless cutting. So they're taking care of the dangerous ones and working on the other one as they can.
Oh, okay. All right. Evidently, these launch sites are for the handicap, it's some kind of a deal where the sidewalk goes down to the launch site, and then there's some kind of a slide board or some such thing that they can slide over, get into a canoe or a kayak or whatever the case might be. And they can just reverse it getting out.
But other people can use them too, it
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
have to be that.
Yeah, so.
Okay, any other questions?
No, okay, thank you.
We'll move on to the Historical Commission.
We got a historical commission meeting on January the 2nd. They had a de-decorating session prior to the meeting. We took all the Christmas decorations down out of the school, got them put away. Agnes reported receiving several maps and charts of the area dating from the early 50s from the Detroit Edison. These will be reviewed for possible display. This is when they got ready to build the St. Clair plant. They had all the,
Those came into somebody brought those into the office here and donated them. They were cleaning out their father or something, or their parents, and they brought them into my office, and I said, well, geez, I think they should go to the museum.
yeah. well,
We
that's
sent
what
them
we're-
over to you guys.
Yeah, that's what, I've seen those before. They had all the ground, what type of ground, what type of property, all that kind of
It's
stuff.
interesting to see
Well, yeah,
how
just to read
different
through
it turned out compared to what they had planned.
Yeah. After that, Debbie Babel briefly reviewed the publication, museums, and more. And after discussion, consensus of the group was not to subscribe to it. Debbie also still looking into an answering machine for the office over there. And when they had the Christmas walk in Marine City on December the 8th, the school was on that, and was very well attended. They figured they had approximately 175 people came into the school. Under new business, Griefer suggested that the Marine City Pride and Heritage Museum Group may be interested in using our school and museum for programs. Evidently, there's not a whole lot of room down at the Pride and Heritage Museum in Marine City. They got so much stuff in there that there's very little room for meeting down there. So I guess they've been kind of asking around about possibly having meetings at the school here.
Can we accommodate that?
Pardon?
Can we accommodate that?
Yeah, we can accommodate that. And so after discussions and so forth, we decided to pursue the idea. And Agnes is going to take that back to their membership and tell them that the school is open to that idea if that's what they would like to do. So the handicap door at the museum has a doorbell which was not working. I called DPW on that a couple days later, and they were gonna look at it, and I don't know if they had a chance to fix it yet or not, replace it or just fix it, I don't know yet. So I talked to Jim. He was gonna go over there and check it, but so I rang the doorbell, it didn't work that night, so I started pounding on the door, till somebody let it open. So, And that concludes that report. Have any other questions, comments? Dave, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Don.
Yep.
All right, moving on to new business. I'd like to make a motion to change the agenda to move the Terhunes up to the top and just move them up to the top and bump everybody back one so they don't have to sit through all of our openings and that.
I'll support that.
All right, it's been moved and supported that we change the agenda. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, Steve, you got the floor. This is Steve Terhune. Hi. You want to go to the podium, Steve? Get you on TV, you know?
Yeah, we'll get you more than 3 minutes, too.
Yeah. Well, thanks for letting me come in. For the past 9 years, I have been here in East China, had a sprinkler system at our house. It's been on a timer, and each year I've had consistent use between the 42 and 48,000 gallon readings. So this past year, I got my statement and it came in at 111,000 gallons of usage for the season. And nothing has changed on my timer status whatsoever. I do maintain my own lawn. I also cut my own grass. And I don't deviate from that schedule. It's pretty consistent. So my first thought was I have a problem here with the reading. I just don't think that's accurate. Where could that usage be going? So I called the township, and Jim came over to actually take the meter and read it with me, and it read the same reading as to what the statement came. Again, it still didn't make any sense to me to have that much usage. So he was gracious enough to take the meter and disconnect it and take this meter off and have it tested for accuracy. Now, going back a year prior, the meter was replaced to have I believe, a digital reading that could be helpful for all your sprinkler meters. So that was installed a year prior. Now, again, I don't know the reasoning why the township had it changed, but so be it. It was replaced. So going into the accuracy testing, Jim gave me the accuracy results, and they came back very high, in the favor of it working well, at a 99% rating, I believe. So I'm thinking to myself, what are all the scenarios of how I could be using this much water in the way of a sprinkler system, a sprinkler that we're talking about, nothing else. So, going to sprinkler heads, I've never run any over with my mower. Nothing spouts up. I don't recognize any wet spots as I cut grass. No mushy areas. I know where all the heads typically are. So going into that, I just question, I think the system, as far as the accuracy of the meter being so consistent for so many years, and to have a new one replaced, I just don't know where the mistake could come into play, whether it is truly usage on the part of my system. I have no problem paying a bill at all whatsoever. I think that the meter or the usage for the water is fair. I don't have a problem with how much township charges, but I'm open to all suggestions that could help solve this, because using 111,000 gallons versus 45,000 gallons is concerning. So I truly wanted to bring it up, whether it can be addressed, whether it can be solved. I don't know that, and that's why I wanted to come and present it, and that's why I wanted to have someone, again, hear it from me. Whether it's something you get often, I don't know. I truly don't know.
I can address part of it as to the meters. We're changing the whole township over to these electronic radio read meters, which are a lot more accurate than our old ones. Our old ones, I'm quoting, because I don't do that work, but, the old ones, you know, say you had a leak in your house, well, they'd have to sit there and watch that meter, you know, because we sold it in 100 gallons. And, you know, for 100 gallons to go through your faucet would take a long time. Or I think it was 10 gallons. But still, that takes quite a while, you know, to fill up 2 5-gallon pails. And then they have to go and read that meter manually. Where these are electrical, we have a computer, a handheld computer that takes this reading and puts it in, and then it goes through our whole system through the computer and everything. You know, it just makes life a whole lot easier. And these actually cost the township over $200 a piece.
Well, I
And
can
we're
believe that.
changing the whole township slowly.
Sure.
And I had a class in these today on how they work and the accuracy. They claim that they can read your faucet dripping with this meter. If your faucet is dripping, all your water's off, and you got a dripping faucet, you can actually see the rate counting on here, you know. So, I mean, this is our product, you're our consumer, you know. We want to be as accurate as we can. Now, it's been the contention of this board that if it goes through the meter, you know, where do we draw the line? I guess you got to tell me what you want me to do. I mean, I don't know, and it's up to this board. It's not my decision.
No, and I understand that statement there, Larry. That's a fair assessment. I truly don't know where a leak could be occurring. I don't know that. I keep a pretty good eye on the grounds around my house, but to have that much usage, I truly am stumped. A bill of 500, I don't know, it's right in here, 500 and,
70-some dollars.
yeah, you know, that's kind of
Oh, yeah,
alarming,
that's-
but just,
You know, and normally we give a credit, a
Yeah.
sewer credit, but being as though, this doesn't come up this often on a sprinkler meter because that, you're sold that water at a reduced rate because it doesn't go through the sewer system. I mean, we could give you a sewer credit if there was one to give, but there isn't one to give on
no,
that.
and I'm not asking the township to reduce my bill down to a
Right.
average of $45,000 or 45,000 gallons of usage. That's not what I'm
Right.
asking. Is there any help that could be provided on this bill? And that would be my first thought, and pending something Jim had mentioned from the township. He said, you know, I'd be glad to come out with you in the spring and try to find.
And we would be.
Yeah,
But
and that's great. I don't mind that.
I think
I
one
don't
of
know
our
what to
big
do.
problems here is our timing.
Sure.
You know, you shut your system off, then you got your bill.
Sure.
Now your system's shut down, we can't go and check your system.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we could probably, we're more than glad, you're our customer, we're more than glad to send the DPW over there and help you,
Mm-hmm.
you know, try to find this, if it is a leak or what we have here. We gotta say that our meter is right.
Right.
You know, the water passed through it. Now, where it went, I don't know, but we'd be willing to work with you and try to find that. But as far as what, you want something done on the bill, that would be up to this board if they want to do something on the bill.
Well, and that's truly a possibility that I would ask, but again, I'm willing to pay the bill,
Right.
but it hurts to have
Well,
to
it hurts
accept
too,
that kind of
you know, that you were at
usage.
42, there was a reading there in
Yeah.
2011. First, we started at 0, and then it went to, we had the first reading was 42 units.
Yeah.
And then we jumped up to that 111.
Was the 42 from the new meter the
Yeah,
first
from 0
time?
up to the,
So it wasn't that this is the first reading on the new meter. There was a reading on this new meter already one time?
one time, yeah, there was one
Okay,
billing
so
on
there
it
was,
already.
because my thought was maybe the old meter was not working properly and it was showing less usage than was actually happening. But if we had a
No,
42
we
on
had one
the
good
new.
reading, which was consistent for your last, I think I got it back to 08. Yeah,
Steve,
08.
Is there a possibility one of your zone valves might have been stuck open? Have you noticed any water in your lawn?
Look at the dates or something.
Not to that extent, as far as the zone's not working properly. They come on and off as they should, and all the heads raise up and go down as a normal cycle.
Because if one gets a piece of dirt under it and stays open, you're gonna have a trickle through that
Oh,
zone
yeah,
all the
that
time.
would be a possibility. But all the zones have been working consistently.
And you said you had it on a timer, right, Steve? And you stick to that time
Yeah.
Because I know it was a real dry summer, but you pretty much stick to your time on there,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, I don't deviate from that. I mean, I like a green grass, but I don't go overboard with that
And I would
type
think
of-
if one of the heads had a leak in it, you would notice
that's
a
what I
mushy
thought.
spot or something,
Yeah.
because we're talking double the water, over double the water
Yeah,
that you're going through on
Right.
that.
right.
But if it's running continuously, even a very small amount, it doesn't
Yeah,
take long.
but if he's cutting the grass, you think he would, I mean, you're what? You're 24 inches down? I mean, it's not, so I mean, if it's continually running, when he's cutting his grass, you would notice a spot somewhere when you're walking on that. The only other thing is, but the meters are turned off. I was gonna say, did we ever try to go out and shoot that meter afterwards to see if it's?
No,
when it
the
would
system was
register?
shut
Your
off.
system
Right.
was shut off.
Yeah, when
Shut
I got the
off.
bill, this was when red flags went up, and I'm gonna say it was probably November as to when
Right.
Jim
Yeah,
came
we-
out and did
If we do
the,
any testing, it'll have to be waiting until spring.
right. Oh, yeah,
You got it all
understand that.
blown out right now. You
Yeah.
freeze it up and bust everything.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
you
wouldn't,
can't do that
wouldn't
right
quite
now.
make sense.
Can you pressure test it with air? Instead of pumping water
So
through, can
Steve's
you pressure
meter
test?
is the one that was taken out, sent to this testing.
Yeah, Jim gave me a copy of it.
Meter's fine.
It was sent
But it was
to,
Steve, but it was Steve's meter?
Yeah.
Okay. It was taken, sent to this,
Michigan Meter Technology Group.
yeah, Michigan Test and
Yeah,
Repair.
Jim
Report,
gave me
yeah.
a copy of that.
You know, they got here, 99+% accuracy on it. I'm at a loss to find out where it came from. I have no idea where that would go.
So,
If somewhere in your system you got a leak, maybe it'll be out in the yard, maybe in the piping going out there. Do you have a cutoff where you can drain your system
Good
into a
leak before the
drain?
zones.
That the valve might be, it only has to be cracked a little bit over a period of 6 months.
well, that very well could be.
The water went through the meter.
We could do it.
Where it went is the
Wait
other
till
question.
spring.
I don't
Charge them
know.
for 47, wait till
The water went through the meter.
What were you saying, Herb, about air?
Is-
I had
is there
heard
a way
about
to-
air testing.
Is there a way to air test a sprinkler system similar to what we do with a fire sprinkler system?
I
Typically,
think so.
before we
Wouldn't that
charge
vary
it,
when
we hook it to a compressor, and we fill it full of air.
I wouldn't think so.
Can't
shut the heads
off. What you gotta do is get it so the heads don't come up.
Well, you shut the meter off, shut the
'Cause
your
I
timer off, then it
I
won't
blow
open
my
the zone
system.
valves.
You could have a leak before that, too.
Somewhere, it's gotta go
See,
through
the
the meter
zones
first,
are
though.
only 2 foot away from the outside of the house. His 7 zones are right 2 foot from the house. So
So
if one of them zones stick open, that system would stay on. and
That's right.
Nothing else would open up.
You're right.
As long as the one system's on, the other ones won't open.
Right, because you don't have enough water pressure to run more than one zone. But I'm saying if you just, I believe from your meter to your zone box is energized all the time off city water pressure to your electrical valves. So if your
Could be anywhere down.
timer is shut off, nothing's opening. So what I'm saying, if we had the meter on there and you looked and if that moves at all, then something is leaking out there. Either one of the zone valves is stuck or it's leaking between the meter and the box.
The box.
I don't know. But I mean, we would be more than willing to help you, find it. I mean,
So, and I don't know if that requires a significant amount of labor or excavating. Those are some things that I'm a little bit unaware of.
I don't think you'd have to excavate it to find the leak. I mean, I think by testing it, you should be able to, but like I say, that timing was just so bad on this whole thing.
Well, sure. And I don't know how often you get this posed to you. I'm sure you get people complaining about bills here and there, whether it's water or
Well,
something
It's
else.
pretty much every month we get
Right.
something on the water meter.
Right. But,
Larry, could we, let him pay the bill now, and then in the spring, when we test it, if we find an error, why, we could reimburse him, or?
I'd rather not have him pay the bill till springtime and just.
It's whatever you decide you want to do. It doesn't
I
matter
don't know,
to
Don,
me.
I don't see any error. The water went through the meter.
It went through somewhere.
And our point has always been, if it goes through the meter, it needs to be paid for. That was, we gave credits for sewer
Sewer
because
credits.
we actually didn't process the stuff. But on water bills, we've always said if it went through the meter, then it should be paid for.
Do you
It'd
see
be
our
helpful- would be
dilemma?
I do,
helpful.
I
Sitting
do.
on
It's a
this
very
board,
tough
yeah.
dilemma because,
The
only issue is
That's
that
an awful
if-
high
if-
bill.
If we make an exception, anybody with a high bill will be in here.
Yeah.
We'll have a line out the door.
Yeah.
it'd be a long
I
one.
mean, we have to draw our line someplace, and we draw it at
Yeah.
the meter, I
Yeah,
believe is what
and
you're saying.
this meter tested accurate, I mean, just.
But
we
we'd
just-
be more than willing
we
to
did-
help you try to find it. I mean, if you want to delay it till spring, and we can help you, if that would help you, that would entertain that motion.
That's what you'd have to do.
No.
I gotta agree with Ralph, if it went through the meter, as far as we're concerned, the water went someplace, I don't know where.
Yeah.
But
Well, I would sure appreciate the help with having it looked at, come spring, as far as,
we'd be more than willing to
that,
do
doing that, and I don't know if it would go as far as having, possibly a different, possibly a different head put on there, I don't
We
know.
can do that, too.
I truly just, don't know if that is the cure, but, I appreciate the time, so.
You know, I mean, if we would've found some discrepancy in this meter, I mean, I think we wouldn't be here today, you know? But I don't see, so do you want us to work on postponing the payment for a while, or what's the board's pleasure?
Well, Larry, there's also a penalty on there too, so if he's brought this up before the board, maybe we could do something with the penalty
Are
on
we-
it for now.
I'd go along with that.
Yeah, I would say we shouldn't do, because
We could waive
we've been
that
dealing
penalty.
with this since you got the bill. It isn't, I would think we wouldn't have to worry about the penalty. And also, the $25 on that, meter, we're not gonna charge you for that either.
So when I get my sprinkler system turned on, I will,
Before you turn it on, let's go over there and do it all together, put the meter on and then juice it up and then see if it comes up and stops and all that.
because I believe Jim still has it.
I got it right here.
Oh, that's the one.
And they will be over to put it on. And then we can,
Yeah, if his zone valves are off now, you could probably do that. But you don't wanna put water in that system in the winter, or it'll freeze right up.
Reimburse them for
Wait a minute, Paul,
If
you
what?
just asking for trouble to
if
put
that
water
thing
in the
is
system.
goofy, or another one is goofy of some sort, for some reason. Like I said, I'm at a loss as to know
Yeah,
why,
I'm-
but if it is,
I would have to agree with Don too. If anything comes back that there is something wrong with that meter, that it got stuck or anything like that. he'd be
we just
very
had the meter
reimbursed.
tested.
We
I
got the meter
understand that,
test.
but once it gets on, I'm just saying, if it comes on that there is a problem with it.
Oh,
it
any
should be-
future problems?
yeah, when was that?
Yes, when you go out to test it in the spring, I mean, if it comes back.
When
or-
was that put on? This year?
No, 11?
10, I think it was.
2011.
11? Oh, okay.
10 or
I
11.
thought maybe when they installed it, something happened, it wasn't installed right, and it was just acting
No.
goofy. I don't.
We've had one good reading on it of the 42,000.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can, yeah, I don't think we want you
Doesn't
paying the
say.
penalty on it, at least that's my, do we need a motion for that?
They haven't paid now. they
Not
have-
pay the penalty?
I'll make a motion, he does not pay the penalty, and nor the $25 inspection fee.
I'll support that.
I mean, that helps you a little bit, not a lot, but, and then we'll also come in the spring and coordinate with you when you're ready to turn it on.
you're provided, however, that the bill's paid within the next 30 days,
What's that? Oh, yeah,
okay? I mean, you gotta put a time limit on it.
okay. Yeah, the
30,
next
10,
30
15,
days
pick a
would be-
number.
That's what the motion is. Everybody understand the motion?
Yes.
Okay. Any further discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
And I think
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Didn't help you much, but
God, if you find out what it is, please tell me.
the water's going somewhere.
yeah, you don't have to stick around. Unless you want to, you're welcome to stay. Huh?
That's right.
Yeah, we got 3 more things. Thanks, Steve and Larry.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good one, Steve.
Okay, we'll move on to old item 1, election agreement between East China and St. Clair County Schools for elections. Does everybody, this is something we do periodically, and it's, we agree to run the elections for the schools.
Larry, is there any compensation paid to the township for doing this?
I want to say I think we can get 1%, but I'm not positive on that. Do you know, Dee?
Because
Well, I
that's,
don't know how it's handled here, but I do know at my old job, there was compensation to the township for handling it.
I think we've, I can't
Is that-
remember if we've collected it or if we wavered it.
well, that's extra work for the clerk. Quite a bit of extra work.
Right.
I think that they've recently passed new laws regarding that the school elections have to be run at the time of a regular election now anyways. I don't know that they have a separate one anymore.
I know they're changing the elections.
Do you want to check that out, Deanne?
I can do
And
that.
report back to us on,
Well, it says on here, first Tuesday following first Monday in November, that's a regular election day.
right. But I don't
Yeah, I have the
think,
same question, I wonder if we're being reimbursed for this effort.
yeah, I think it's 1%, but we'll let Dee check that out and get back with us.
What are you gonna do, just table that for the time being until they find out, or?
They want to table it. Should probably table it.
Well, except for, it has to go to the meeting on I believe it's the 28th. We have to turn this signed form in that we're going to do it,
Yeah, we could
handle the
take,
elections.
I'd make a motion to table it until you found out, and,
Well, that's gonna put us past the
That's
28th.
gonna put us past the time,
Oh,
the
okay.
time limit though.
okay.
Um,
Is there any way we can find
No,
out
we'll
sooner?
just say, we'll just pass it the way it's written here, and if you find out anything different, then
Because there's nothing in this
have
saying,
them write us and tell us that they're gonna.
it looks like it's a freebie.
And I think we have done it for free in the past, but, well, we can check on it. Either way, if we're not getting paid for it, we're not doing it, is that what we're saying?
Well, we should, they should receive
I don't
something
think-
because it's time for the clerk. There's quite a bit of work here. Gotta get the machines out and ready and everything.
Well, I guess it's up to you guys, what you wanna do.
I make a motion that we accept the agreement between St. Clair County and Township of East China to run the school district elections as listed on this, and authorize the clerk to sign for the township. We can discuss money later.
Okay, we have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll support it.
It's been moved and supported, any further discussion?
It is a 4-year agreement, but there'd only be 2 elections, so I guess we could find out
We'll
if
find
there's
out, yeah.
compensation or what, and then we can make the decision on the following election, I mean, in the next 4 years, because this is a 4-year agreement we have with them. So,
Okay, no further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we're moving on to item 2, $6,500 to community planning and management to update the master plan and maps. This is the planning commission, Herb?
Yes.
Anybody, you want to explain that?
What we did through the process, our master plan requires a renewal. It's something that's done every 5 years, I believe, just like all of our other plans. Our community planner, Community Planning and Management, or CPM, approached us. We had requested 3 different prices of various, varying degrees of, I guess, work or changes to be done. After we evaluated our plan, we felt that there was not really a lot to update. We felt that it stayed pretty close to what it was. So I believe attached to this, there's a letter that was sent to our planners with things that we would like to see reviewed and updated. We evaluated the 3 prices they gave us, the lowest one being the $6,500. And the planning commission felt that it was in the best interest of the township to have that approved, so they could proceed with the work.
Why the hell can't we run our own?
and Herb, on that $6,500 option, that is all the things they're changing, what's below there?
Yes,
The
we went,
pages and everything, and
that's
that's
correct.
fairly accurate to what you guys looked at and did with them?
Yes, yeah. they're going to update a lot of our zoning map, future land use maps and things of that nature. I don't know. We had also requested that they purchase, there was an extra cost, but I don't see it here. There were some extra costs for some large format printing to be done. As you can see, we don't have our zoning map or anything. So that will, I'm assuming, will be coming up eventually. We'd like to see that, as well as some printing of some other maps for the use by the commission. But yeah, this is we're pretty confident this covers everything that we'd like to see changed.
And we have to do this stuff too, if we want to qualify for grants and stuff along the way, is that?
That
part of
is
the
true.
5-year plan?
Legally, we're required to keep that filed every 5 years. Yes. You know, we could choose not to and just readopt what we had, but the basis of that was getting a little old. We felt strongly we needed some improvements in terms of the demographics. They've changed quite a bit from what we currently have. Of course, some of the maps have changed. We've got some existing land uses that have changed, so we do need an upgrade.
I got a question. It says on the back here that hard copies of the revised plan could be obtained from Community Planning and Management, PC, at $25 a copy. So am I assuming that the rest of this is all done on a disc?
Yes, they're gonna hand over an electronic copy, and more than likely, we'll probably make our own copies.
So that what they're providing for the $6,500 is the electronic update
copy
of the whole thing. And if we want any hard copies, they're $25 a piece.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Herb, how are the new planners doing? Because we hired them not too long ago. Velikan Lehman was in here for a number of years. Are they doing?
I think they're doing pretty well. Unfortunately, the economy is down a little bit, so their services haven't been used as much as they have in the past. Honestly, I'd have to go back almost 3 years to recall when we had a site plan review and we needed their assistance.
It's true.
Good.
But so far, so good. Their response has been timely. This will be their first big test, I think.
Okay. Any further discussion?
No?
I think we need a motion to approve this. Is that what we're looking for, Herb, the 6,500?
I believe so.
Okay.
And I'll make that motion that we
Okay.
approve CPM to proceed with the update of the master plan for the cost of $6,500.
Who supported that?
Okay, it's been moved and supported. That was Mr. Horn supported that. That we accept the $6,500 for the community planning and management update. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Simons?
Yes?
Mr. Boda?
Yes.
Mr. Potsalis?
Yes.
Mr. Horn?
Yes.
Mr. Knotts?
Yes.
Mr. Blackstock?
Yes.
Cram, yes.
Okay, motion carried. With that completes the new business. We'll,
No,
No,
we
number
got some
three.
oh,
quotes,
geez, the big one here,
some quotes on
yeah.
there.
The quotes, yeah, we got quotes for cleaning. Our,
Mr. Supervisor, before we start that, I'm very concerned about what we're trying to do here. Is this just a bid opening? You're gonna read them and close them, no votes? Because it's what it should be. You're supposed to have a bid opening, you have it in public. This would be the public bid
That's what
opening.
we're having.
Okay. You know, I'm kinda going back the way been on for about 8 years on the sewer water, Don's been on longer than I have. And when we have things that require bidding, we have the superintendents get the bids, evaluate them, make a recommendation, and then they report to the board, in this case, the water authority, with the recommendation and why they're making that recommendation. At that way, we know something about the companies, we know something about the bidders, their capabilities, their reliability, their past performance, before we get around to voting on who we're going to award the contract to. You know, I don't know anything about any of these folks, and so I would suggest that we have our public bid opening, and it says, I'm assuming that the office manager will be the supervisor of this particular contractor, that we return the bids to her, have her provide an analysis of them, and present that to us at the next meeting with her recommendation so that we vote on it.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. I
Okay?
don't think our office manager should be able to hire and fire personnel at all. This is a hiring of a person that's gonna be doing our cleaning services. And I think it's our board that makes that decision on what it is. If there's a lot of bids, I can understand that, but we're only talking 8 bids. I mean, I can understand like when we
I'm
had
not
the.
saying she'd be hiring it, she'd be making a recommendation to us, and we'd have to decide whether to accept it or do something else. At least we'd know something about them before we vote.
I don't think that falls under the job description of our office manager. I think the hiring that we do, I think is coming through this board. I think I would like to know exactly who bid on this, how many bids we have, and who's bidding it.
Well, I'm not
I
saying,
don't wanna bring
I'm
these-
saying open them now.
Right.
But until we have some analysis of them and a recommendation that we don't vote on which one we award.
All bids are pretty much the same, aren't they, for the same job
Well, you guys might might know all of these people and have.
Yeah, and I don't
information on
even
their
know who
company.
bid them, Ralph.
And know all these people, and know how the background of their company, how reliable they are. I don't know. I'd like to have some information
Well-
before I vote on which one we accept. Not that we don't open them, but which one we accept.
Well, if we take a look at what, then why do you think the office manager have more knowledge of that than we would?
We have a staff. Let's put them to work. She happens to be one of them. We put our superintendents in the water and sewer plants to work up to get that information for us before we make decisions.
The other thing that I'll agree with Ralph, in all these bids, we're asking for their liability insurance too. So I mean, I would think before we award the bid, we should
make sure they
make
got
sure
it.
that they have it and that, you
Totally
know.
agree. I totally
Yes.
agree with that,
And I
yes.
would agree with, but I would agree with the individual saying hired or fired.
Okay,
Well,
Plain and
I've not
simple.
said anything about her doing the hiring and firing. She's analyzing the bids and giving us recommendations. We're the ones that make the decisions.
so you're saying like maybe we should open the bids, or the quotes, I'm calling them quotes, that's what we asked for, quotes. They're not sealed, I mean, some of them are just a piece of scotch tape on them. We could open them and then maybe see what they all are, list them all, and then
I think that's
maybe
what you're
get down
supposed
to
open and read
3
them.
or something?
I would agree
Three
with that.
finalists that we could have cleared through, somebody's gotta call and check on the
Exactly.
liability, gotta check on their references, you know?
And that's what I thought the process was gonna be. We're gonna open up the 8 bids, we'd select 3, we'd give them back, have them check on them, verify everything.
Okay.
Bring those 3
Is
bids
that-
back to us, and then let us know what, if they're insured, if they're not insured, you know, kind of work.
Why
things-
select 3? Why don't you work on them all?
Well, again, if, depending what they're bidding at, I mean, I'm sure if someone's in at 900, the other person's in at 500, why even concern yourself with the $900 one? I mean, we could be a process of elimination here, but whatever the board's wishing.
I guess, Ralph, in the past 4 years since you haven't been on the board, we've had some problems with our bids, the way, we don't have no procedure, and that was one of the other things I wanted to talk about. Me, should put a procedure together for doing these bidding of different things, not just this cleaning, but do we want to bring all these bids to the board? Something like this, should we be looking at a money amount as to, say, 3,000 or 1,500 or something that it's, I use the example, if we were gonna paint the flagpole, would we get quotes, would we want to bid on that,
No, that's something
of a
that's,
$200 bid?
No.
Or,
for somebody to wash the windows, we don't need
Okay.
to have separate bids.
but we're hiring an employee,
You should be one that can go out and,
right, I mean, should this be my call here? I guess that's what I'm asking you.
Well, I agree. I think there needs to be a procedure, because we've struggled with this at other board levels. You know, the cutoff to when you need to receive bids and the procedures. My experience is that they should be sealed. They should be delivered sealed. They can be read and opened in a public forum such as this, but typically no decision is made. Whether this board evaluates them or we designate another individual to evaluate them, it would be similar to building a new sewer plant.
Right.
We wouldn't receive a bid that was not sealed. We would open it in a public forum, and we would request that our engineers evaluate the bidders.
Well, going to the sewer plant, we actually hired Wade Trim to do that portion of the job. But
Okay, can I ask a question?
Sure.
We're hiring a person and making them an employee,
No,
or
we're
we're
contracting.
contracting
We're
out a
contracting.
company to come and
company.
clean?
contracting the company.
Okay, and do we have the same nepotism rules? We don't hire family members or
Correct.
relatives, companies to do work? Is that, okay, I just wanna make sure that we're, because we didn't ask for sealed bids at this point.
No, we asked for quotes, and that, maybe
can
that's,
do the same
maybe
thing
that's a
with a quote.
misunderstanding.
You
That's
can do
what
the
we
same
done.
thing.
Should just have bids, have them give a bid instead of a quote.
It's a quote's the same thing.
Huh?
I don't see any difference with a quote, bid, same thing.
Well, we didn't ask to have them sealed. That's one thing.
And I don't think we should for this. I mean, it's not again,
not a
in our
big item.
procedure or plan, we should have a monetary value to the point where, and I think we do have it, don't we? That they have to come in sealed bids?
Supervisor can, is that what you're talking about?
Well, isn't there a monetary value that they have to be a sealed bid?
I've asked that question, I've got like 3 different answers, I guess that's what I'm saying, should I work on writing up a procedure for that, so we know?
I would agree with
I
Herb.
was
think
told
we
it's in,
should.
it was discussed at a meeting way back when, but I can't seem to find it.
It was, shoot, over the long years I've been, it's probably been 4 or
I
5
believe it's a
times that
state
has
law,
come
anything
up, and
over
we thought each time
20,000
we
has to be.
develop something that would be
Sealed.
satisfactory, and all of a sudden it kind of
But
just
that's a state
disappears. And it goes into a dark hole somewhere, and
Well, that's why I say, if we get something and put it in writing and get it as part of our rules.
That'd probably be something to look at, Larry.
Do you want me to work on that, or make something
Yeah,
up, or?
I think it'd be a good idea that we had something in writing, you
Yeah,
know.
I think so too.
Put something together and bring it back to the board
Bring
and
it
let's
back
look
to the
at
board,
it.
but in the meantime, let's open these tonight, and then we'll check them out and bring it back. We got until the next meeting. She's good till February the 2nd. Or she said she'd stay an extra week if we had to.
I would think that we would open tonight, this is the public
Okay.
forum, we'd announce what they are, who they are, what the bid is, and then next week have if
Is that all right
whoever
with you
is going
guys?
to supervise this contractor, and maybe I guessed wrong, but whoever is going to supervise this contractor, come back and tell us about the bidders, and give us, I would like to have a recommendation, and with a why do you make this recommendation?
Well,
And then we'll discuss it and vote on it.
I really think the ultimate supervision comes down to the township supervisor.
I think it comes to you.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
because I oversee Sandy Smith, I oversee Dion and Mike. So let's open them, and then
Yeah, that
I'll
does-
sit down and go through them.
That doesn't mean you can't have somebody do the work for you.
Right, but I'll personally go through them and, so Dee, do you want to write down these bids as I open them?
Yep.
Is that all right with you guys down there? Okay. First one,
I told you that earlier.
Diana Scayola.
What's the name of it?
How you spell it? S-C?
Danielle Scayola. I don't want to mispronounce it, so I'm not going to pronounce it. Okay, he's got a quote here for cleaning all windows on lower level in all 3 buildings on a weekly basis, $70. Mopping all non-carpet floors in all 3 buildings on a weekly basis, $70. Vacuuming all carpet areas in all 3 buildings on a weekly basis, $50. Detailing restrooms in all 3 buildings on a weekly basis, that includes mopping floors, detailing urinals, cleaning mirrors and stalls, $50. This is a total bid of $240
A week?
a week. But here, this is one thing, he didn't bid apples to apples here. The quote said, Red Brick Schoolhouse once a month, Rose Hill Chapel once a month.
That's exactly why we need somebody to go
So
through
really,
these
this guy,
and talk to
you know,
us
didn't
about
Hey,
it.
that should be put off to the side.
Right.
He didn't respond as
Maybe
Fasten
I'll
this way
read
so
this
I'll get the
first
names.
before, I'll read the quote that we posted and put in the paper. The deadline for the quote was January 18, 2013. And it to include clean all floor surfaces, clean all glass at front entrance and sweep area outside front doors, wash bathrooms and all floors that is not carpet, refill toilet tissue, paper products in restrooms, dust clean all desk and table surfaces, disinfect phones and doorknobs, empty trash to an outside bin. You supply cleaning supply, rag, and cleaning devices. We supply garbage bags. And then the 3 bullets were Township Hall once a week, Red Brick Schoolhouse once a month, Rose Hill Cemetery Chapel once a month. That was the quote that we asked for. Okay? All right, so that we got the first one, didn't really meet the posted. This one here is from Mark and Catherine Gilman Blair. Please accept this bid for the cleaning services at East China Township Hall, Red Brick Schoolhouse, and the Rose Hill Cemetery Chapel. $299 per month. Mark has been a member of the East China School District custodial team for 23 years. His experience in training and caring for the school buildings makes him a great candidate for taking care of the township property. Both reside in East China. Mark and Kathy take pride in their work, and as a team, they would be dependable and fulfill your cleaning service needs.
So that's a company there?
That's individuals, Mark and Kathleen, was it Kathleen? Catherine Gilman Blair. Next one is Jessica Andrus, 1013 Bell River Road. Cleaning bid proposal, Township Hall, $100 weekly. Cemetery, $40 monthly. Little Red Schoolhouse, $40 monthly, for a total of $480 a month. Jessica Andrus. This is Janitize It LLC. Let's see where we're at here.
That's our insurance. There's one more page in between.
References.
So it's not on the letter? They didn't put a price on the letter?
Gotta go through and read it. Oh, here it is. Weekly cleaning of the East China Township Hall, $125. Monthly cleaning of the Rose Hill Chapel, $30. Monthly cleaning of the Red Brick Schoolhouse, $70. I didn't add them up, but.
What was the total on that, Larry?
Would be $225.
It'd be more than that, would it?
No.
Just per week.
A week?
Well.
It's
no,
$100.
Yeah,
It's,
they
it's,
broke it up like they're supposed to.
it's $500 plus, it's $600 a month to do all of it.
What was that?
$600 a month.
That's what you want monthly?
Oh, whatever they have in there.
I get
Well, they
560.
got $125 a week to do the
560?
township.
No,
hall,
it's
so
$500 for the
is
4 weeks
$500.
at the township, and then 30 and 70 is another 100.
I thought you said 30.
No, 30 and 70, so 600 a month.
$600.
I know
Gotcha.
there's 4 point whatever weeks in a
Alright.
month, but
So
I'm
it's
just doing it
600.
at 4.
Fine.
Larry, is there a chance we could all get a copy of these, and
I can make you copies of them, yeah.
it'd be easier for us to go through
I think
them?
we should be writing it how we bid it. the weekly for the township hall, the monthly for the other two, and then,
Right, that's what I'm writing. But
Once
then
again, I'll
if
point
they
out
tell
that
us
this is
that,
one of the things that
We
we should
gotta
have
have some
somebody
kind
do
of
for
job
us.
descriptions that they got to do.
All you
so.
do is open them and read them, somebody should be doing this,
Okay.
putting this stuff together.
this one here is,
See, this one here is $240 a week. Oh, shit, that's 900 and something a month.
how do you say that? So
And
whiskey.
this one here is a month.
is that-
This one's from Andrea Zarwinski,
Zakowinski?
Nice spelling.
I gotta break it down here. She gave a total for the month of 455, but if we wanna, I think she's got it broke down in there. Rose Hill Cemetery, $70 for a month. Red Brick Schoolhouse, $85 for a month. Weekly cleaning of entire township hall, $75 a week. Putting it all right here.
What was the spelling on that last one?
I'm marking on each.
What was the spelling on that last one? I'm sorry.
ZAKRZEWSKI.
Okay.
Yep.
So the total on that last one was, 4 times 75 is gonna be,
455.
300,
455.
455, that's what I thought, okay.
This is Preferred Cleaning Services, Rachel Franz. Township Building, $120. Red Brick Schoolhouse, $45. Rose Hill Chapel, $30. My services do not include windows or stripping and waxing floors.
No windows.
Wasn't the windows on our list?
It was 120 a week for the hall, or 120?
What was that?
120.
She doesn't specify, but if,
She's been in it as the poster said it would be the weekly, I would assume.
So it's 120 a week,
120 a week for the hall.
and
485,
how much for the,
10, 555.
45 for the
keep up
Red
with
Brick Schoolhouse,
45 for the Red Brick School?
550 would be 555.
30 for the Rose Hill Cemetery Chapel. 30. Here's, next one is Clara's Cleaning Service, Algonac. Township Hall, $150 a week. Red Brick School, $75 a month. Rose Hill Cemetery Chapel, $75 a month.
600, 700 and
For a total of what?
50 bucks.
750.
750, right?
Yep, 750.
That's,
The next one is Paula Rick. I don't know what we. She just broke it out as a fee of $500 per month for cleaning all 3 locations.
How much, 500 even?
$500 a month
Okay.
for cleaning all 3 locations.
What's her last name?
R-I-X.
Oh, Ricks, okay.
All right, X?
Yes, Rick's.
I had R-I-T-Z.
This one's from Selective. Karen Lincoln.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Selective, and her name is Karen Lincoln, like the president. Insurance policies here. Here we go. Quote for cleaning East China Township offices. Bid included cost of cleaning supplies. She did it by the hour. $20 an hour, 4 hours. So the chapel is $80
A month.
a month. The Red Brick Schoolhouse is 4 hours, $80 a month. The township offices would be $480 a month.
Wow. 560,
For a grand total of $640.
740.
640.
640, yes, 640.
Yeah, this is her, that's her insurance, this is her.
He's about done, we're gonna run out of space.
And that concludes all the quotes. So as you can see, we have to go through those and,
Hey, that's 165.
well, what's your pleasure? What do you want to do?
Should have the old girl at the same price and save all these multi-$100 figures.
What's
I'd
that?
like to know a whole lot more about each one of these people, about background, capability, reliability,
Yeah, because they are going to
whether or
be,
not they're whether or not they're bonded, whether or not they have any relatives that work for the township. And then, so we can make a decision.
Some of them do actually have their insurance included and references in the packets, but
Okay, good. Somebody ought to lay that out for us. So we can make a decision.
Well, we don't really know whether they're gonna supply the supplies or who's gonna supply it.
We give them garbage bags.
okay, so we'll go over those. I will personally go over those and bring back a recommendation to the board at the next meeting. And we'll go from there. Is that suitable for everybody here?
I guess.
I'm gonna stop in and get a total of the monthly from you.
I can have Sandy, doctor, make up a little chart of them if you would rather have something like that.
Okay,
But I gotta agree with Ralph, a lot of it depends on, these people are gonna be in here at night. We're gonna give them a key to everything,
yep,
because they come in on Saturday, and we really should have a background check and find out
oh, yes.
where we're at here. Okay? All right, so we'll take care of that.
The one that's in there now is she said she would do it for another week or so.
She said she would do it till the second week in February, so I
We
don't
got,
think
we
we
got
have
a
to.
little bit of time.
And she is one of them that quoted too, so she re-quoted. All right, with that, that concludes our new business. We'll move on to members' comments. Don, do you have anything down there?
No, I don't have nothing tonight, Larry.
All right, Angelo?
No, nothing down there, thank you.
Don?
Nothing this evening, thank you.
Dee?
good.
Ernst? Ralph?
Just to reiterate something that you touched on earlier, you're gonna look at coming up with some kind of a procedure or doing this sort of thing in the past, in the future.
I gotta go back to hospital.
One thing I was wondering, maybe we want to look at maybe at a future board meeting. There are expenses that come up to the township that the supervisor may have an opportunity to pay early, either to emergency repair, or you pay a bill and you get a discount if you pay it right away. And I'm wondering if we might want to consider some sort of a limit that says the supervisor can make those payments and report to us at the next board meeting, rather than having to delay it, or.
I think we have an amount for that.
We have
Do
an
we
amount,
have
I think,
something
It's
like
either
that?
1,500 or
I think it's
1,700.
1,500 on a, like an
Okay, I mean, is
emergency
it-
basis.
That's okay, I was just wondering, if, he should have something
Right,
like
yeah,
that.
we do, and I think, I think that's what a day you could
A
spend
day.
1,500
I think it's
a
either
day.
15 or
Okay,
1,700 a
well,
day.
great.
But in an emergency, I would think I would probably call the
Yeah, you could call.
Get a
people,
consensus of
but
the
you have
board.
to have
Like the
some-
Water and
some-
Sewer Authority, and I was chairman of that, I had $1,000 emergency
sure.
expenditure.
Yeah.
Expenditure.
expenditure.
I think the
one other-
supervisors was it was $1,500
I thought it was
a day.
15, I thought it was a long time ago when I was here before, that it was 1,500 or so.
Yeah.
It
If
still
that's
is.
still adequate?
And I will put that into the little proposal I make up that will, we'll talk about handling contractor bids. Maybe something over maybe $5,000, they will be sealed, and we will have an opening. And then we possibly won't vote on them that night, but then take and assess them
Okay.
the next
As long
day.
as long as the quote is done per the spec that we send out. Instead of
Right,
sending
and that's
it
what I
off
mean,
the
but
wall.
when they
That's one of
don't
the
quote,
things you wanted to, that's one of the things somebody's gonna look at. Did they
Quote
quote
it
it
right,
properly? If
right.
they didn't, that kind of puts them on the bottom of the list.
right,
One other thing is, some time ago, a meeting or so ago, you brought up about the solid waste plan that we had, that St. Clair County is coming up with, where they want to get trash from outside, and we're polling the various political entities around St. Clair County as to whether or not we agreed with that. I saw a very good editorial in the Times-Herald that was very much against that. And one of their things was, right now we have a solid waste plan that we are legally allowed to limit the solid waste that goes into that dump to St. Clair County residents. Their opinion was, once we opened it, or once the county opens it to outside the county, they would be hard pressed to stop anybody else from using it. I'm just wondering, in our best interest for county residents, whether we really want to agree to something like that. I really have second thoughts about it.
I'm sorry, Ralph, you said if we open it up to letting somebody else dump?
Yeah, if they redo the master plan where they can allow outside the county to dump.
And they want to allow, did you say Canada?
Lapeer County.
They want their
wanted
Lapeer
to
County,
allow-
but.
So you can't just stipulate Lapeer County, what you're saying
Yeah,
is gonna
because
open it
what
to
happens is
everybody?
Well, that's what they're
Washtenaw-
gonna try to do.
What's the difference between Lapeer County, let's say Washtenaw County, or Sanilac County? They have, it's a very good article. I mean, I read it, I wish I'd have brought it in with me, but they were saying that they didn't think it was a good idea to open that particular Pandora's box. We have a good solid waste plan in the county, and we probably ought to keep it.
Well, Ralph, we went to that meeting, Larry and I, and there was even a mention of getting a Canadian trash.
For example, I don't like that
Then we'd
idea
be
at
in
all.
trouble.
And I don't like that idea at all.
No.
Well, they stated the fact that if we went to Canadian trash, we would be selective Canadian trash.
I don't,
Be
I
just
think there's an
I'm
banana
not-
peels and apple.
I mean,
Who's
the
gonna
federal
crowd the
government
truck
has
You're
and
gonna go
load?
see it and check it out?
I don't think you'll find old rotten apple cores and
I'm
half the stuff.
quoting what they were told.
Yeah, but I think the federal government has something to say about that. They've been trying to make selective Canadian trash for how many years now, and they've not had a lot of luck on it.
I think Don and I both stated we weren't in favor of the Canadian trash.
Anyway, like I say, I didn't know do we have to take a position as a township?
That's what I kind of gathered from the meeting, that in order to change this county ordinance, that it's going to take a vote of
municipalities, townships and cities? Because the townships were invited and the cities were invited to this
So they were
presentation.
just trying to get a feel then, at that
I think,
meeting?
well, they're trying to bring it, show us what it is, and when you look at the whole presentation, I mean, they talk about, we'll never fill that dump, because
Oh, they're claiming they got
They said 80 years,
coming
they
up on
open
it.
another cell. Won't bother me any, but 80 years is not that far off.
But what they're saying with the way the world is changing, and we're starting to recycle more things, that in 80 years, you won't find enough garbage to put in that dump, we won't be
I
generating.
don't think so.
Yeah, and I believe in a tooth fairy, too.
Yeah, okay. All right, is that all you
Yeah, I
had,
just
Doug?
wanted to bring that up,
Okay.
because if we have to make a vote on or something, I would, I would tend to say no.
Well, I think the day will come where we'll have to make a vote on it.
Yep.
As a board.
That's all I got, thank you.
To have East China represented.
Well, I thought they wanted to have the townships and cities vote and have a certain percentage.
I thought he said something about 2/3 majority or something,
Yeah,
didn't he,
something like
Don? But I think there's gonna be a lot more information coming on that before we actually get to a vote. Okay, the only comments I have is, Don talked about the, needing a survey over there at that park. When you do need a survey from the park, for the one on Springboard, then I think we still have that quote of $550, I think, from James Little, and we'll probably use that one, but when you get ready for that, just let me know when we can do that.
I'll have the park commission let you know.
Yeah. With that, this week I'm not gonna be around. Myself and Mr. Blackstock are going to the MTA convention, so
They both went. Good.
if you wanna get a hold of us, we got our cell phones, we got our numbers.
What is that, Tuesday through Fridays?
Yeah, I'll be back Friday. I think it gets over at 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock on Friday, so
Okay.
we'll be back. With that, I guess a motion to adjourn.
Let's behave better now.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
We have a motion, and we have a motion to adjourn and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.
8:47.
Thank you.